cancel the Olympics.
Speaking of Los Angeles, the National Guard, you pulled out the National Guard out of Portland and Los Angeles.
You know what? You know that Portland, we got it down to almost no crime. You know that? But we pulled it out. We had a Supreme Court decision. We can go back. We're allowed to go back in. But we'll go back in when the crime starts. Look, the crime will soon start because they now know that we're out. And at the appropriate time, we'll go back in. And we may, if we're allowed to. The most powerful thing we haven't used the Insurrection Act.
You're considering using the Insurrection Act?
I've always considered it, but we haven't needed it anywhere. 48% of the presidents of this country have used it. Bush used it, I think, 22 times or something. You know that. I mean, Bush the elder.
What are your short-term next 2 weeks? What do you need from Delcy Rodriguez? You've read
total access. We need total access. We need access to the oil and to other things in their country that allow us to rebuild their country. What are the things?
Welcome back to 45th Perspective. This is the channel where we slow things down, cut through the noise, and look at today's political news with context, facts, and honest analysis. If you're tired of headlines designed to provoke emotion instead of understanding, you're in the right place. Today I want to talk about the statement President Trump made when he said, "We'll worry about Greenland in about 2 months," following the capture of Nicolás Maduro. That single line set off a wave of reactions across the media, with some outlets framing it as reckless, others calling it a distraction, and a few treating it like a joke. But as usual, the real story sits underneath the soundbite. First, let's ground ourselves in the facts. The comment came in the context of broader U.S. foreign policy discussions, particularly around national security, energy independence, and America's strategic position in the Arctic. Greenland isn't a random place. It holds enormous geopolitical value due to its location, its natural resources, and its role in Arctic defense. The U.S. already has a military presence there, and interest in the region didn't start with Trump. Multiple administrations, going back decades, have viewed Greenland as strategically important. Now, about the timing of the comment. Trump linking Greenland to events like the Maduro situation is not accidental. One thing supporters and critics alike should acknowledge is that Trump tends to speak in terms of priorities. When he says, "in about 2 months," what he's really signaling is sequencing. Handle immediate security threats first, then move to longer-term strategic goals. That's not unusual in statecraft, even if his wording is unconventional. From a right-leaning, America-first perspective, this approach makes sense. Foreign policy should be driven by U.S. interests, not global applause. Securing influence in key regions, limiting adversarial expansion, and protecting trade and defense routes are legitimate concerns. Greenland fits into that conversation whether the media likes it or not. That said, it's also fair to be honest about the delivery. Trump's communication style often creates unnecessary controversy. When statements aren't fully explained, they allow critics to define the narrative. Serious geopolitical discussions deserve serious framing, especially when they involve allies and sensitive regions. Style matters because perception matters on the world stage. So what does this really mean? It means the U.S. is continuing to think strategically about its future position, particularly as Russia and China expand their presence in the Arctic. It means national security planning is ongoing, not reactive. And it means that behind the headlines, there's a consistent theme: prioritizing American leverage and preparedness. You don't have to agree with every word or every method to recognize that there's a broader strategy at play. Blind criticism doesn't help, and blind loyalty doesn't either. What matters is understanding the why behind the statement, not just reacting to how it sounds. That's what we try to do here on 45th Perspective. We look at the facts, question the narratives, and think critically about where the country is headed and why. If you found this breakdown useful, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments. I always appreciate hearing different perspectives as long as the conversation stays thoughtful and grounded. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
What are the things?
A lot of things. Roads that aren't built, bridges that are falling down. Yeah, bridges that are falling down, nobody can go anywhere.
And on Greenland,
What, Greenland now?
yeah, on Greenland.
How did we come up to Greenland?
So, do you expect to take an action against Greenland
talk about Greenland. Let's talk about Venezuela, Russia, Ukraine, and we'll worry about Greenland in about 2 months. Let's talk about Greenland in 20 days.
On Venezuela, we talked so much about energy.
By the way, I will say this about Greenland. We need Greenland from a national security situation. It's so strategic. Right now, Greenland is covered with Russian and Chinese ships all over the place. We need Greenland from the standpoint of national security. And Denmark is not going to be able to do it, I can tell you. You know what Denmark did recently to boost up security in Greenland? They added one more dome sled. It's true. They thought that was a great move.
What would the justification be for a fleet to Greenland? What would the justification?
Oh, I don't want to talk about Greenland now. I just say this. We need Greenland from the standpoint of national security. And the European Union needs us to have it, and they know that.
I think there's something